What's up travellers, welcome back to ASJ Aviation HQ, and in today's video we're doing the model review of the Air New Zealand Boeing 747-400 by Phoenix Models. This model here was released way back in 2010, so almost 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago actually. So it's a very old model and one that I am very happy to have in my collection and happy to be doing the model review of it for you guys today. But before we go any further into the video though, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you like the content of model reviews, airport updates and other great stuff like that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel below and ding that bell icon for future videos, the notification for future videos so you don't miss out on any of those videos going live. Before we go any further into the video, in terms of showcasing the box, I'm going to read out some information about the airline of Air New Zealand, and a bit of information about this aircraft in terms of like when it first flew, the age of the aircraft, where it was built, and then some more brief backstory about when this aircraft was delivered and other remarks like that. Founded as Tasman Empire Airways Limited on April the 26th, 1940, Air New Zealand is the flag carrier airline of New Zealand, and commenced operations on April the 1st, 1965. Based in Auckland, New Zealand, the airline operates scheduled passenger flights to 20 domestic and 32 international destinations to 18 countries within or around the Pacific Rim. Of course, that is being like the border of the Pacific Ocean. The Boeing 747 Queen of the Skies was the backbone of the fleet of Air New Zealand since the early 1980s, where their first was delivered on May the 22nd, 1981, a Boeing 747-200 registered as Zulu Kilo-November Zulu Victor, until the eventual retirement of the last 747 on September the 10th, 2014, a Boeing 747-400 registered as Zulu Kilo-November Bravo Victor, which of course is the model we'll be looking at today. Which was well over 33 years of service. Air New Zealand operated a total of 15 Boeing 747 jumbo jets, 7 of those being the 747-200s and 8 of them being the 747-400s. So going into some information about this aircraft now. This aircraft's MSC number that we're looking at today is 26910. This aircraft line number is 1180, which means this aircraft here rolled out of Boeing's factory as the 1180th 747. This aircraft here was built as a Boeing 747-400, specifically a 419, because 19 is the Boeing designated code for, or Boeing customer code, my bad, for like a Boeing aircraft delivered to New Zealand. So for the likes of the current 777-300ERs, they are specifically known as 319s, but we know them as 777-300ERs. Of course, the 787s don't have customer codes because the customer codes kind of went out of rotation, I guess, once the 787s were started to be built. So this aircraft here performed its first flight on October the 9th, 1999. This aircraft here, as of today, is 24 years old. This aircraft here was built and produced at Everett Painfield. Of course, that is just north of Seattle. And this aircraft is currently stored. I believe it's at Roswell in the USA at the moment. So the registration of the aircraft that we're looking at today is Zulu Kilo-November Bravo Victor. This aircraft here is a Boeing 747-400, again a 419. This aircraft here was delivered to Air New Zealand on October the 31st, 1998, and is wearing 4 General Electric CF6-80 Charlie 2 Bravo 1 Foxtrot engines. This aircraft wears the name Christchurch after the city in the South Island, of course that being my birth city. And this aircraft here wore the Lord of the Rings special colours between December 2002 and August 2004. Of course, that promoting the Lord of the Rings movie series, trilogy series. And this aircraft here was withdrawn from service and retired out of the New Zealand fleet on September the 10th, 2014. Of course, the 747s in the New Zealand fleet were eventually replaced by the 777-300ERs. Of course, the first 777-300ER, can't remember when it was delivered, but I'll leave a date in the bottom left corner right about now. But that was registered as Zulu Kilo dash Oscar Kilo Mike. And that was delivered in the teal livery. Of course, this livery here, as you can see on the box, is wearing the old Pacific Wave livery. And Air New Zealand was once known as the Airline of the Pacific. That's why the colours of the teal, the blue and the teal colour, and that's why it has the Pacific Wave. Of course, nowadays the current livery is the black and white livery. Technically known as, I think it's the half fern livery, the white fern livery. I'm not too sure what the livery is called, but of course the black livery is known as the Black Beauty livery, not the All Blacks livery. But yeah, this livery here, this aircraft here is quite meaningful to me. Of course, I grew up in the late 90s, loving that's when I began my love of the aviation industry. And of course, I grew up with the 747s up in Christchurch. Of course, the 747s were mainly based in Auckland. Of course, Auckland is where the largest city in New Zealand, and of course that's where the largest airport is, and the majority of the services that come in international wise go to Auckland. But the 747, I think this one specifically did make it the odd appearance in Christchurch, and I remember back in the day when I was out in the back of the airport up in Christchurch, I do remember seeing these quite often, and so managed to pick this model up a few years ago now, and man, you guys cannot imagine how happy I was to finally get a model of one of these in my collection. Specifically this one here, named after my home city, and of course being the last one to be I think it was to be delivered as well, and the last one to be retired out of the fleet of Air New Zealand. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to have this model in my collection. This model here is in my classic collection. It was in my most recent airport update. Go ahead and check out that video, the card in the top right corner right about now, leading you to my most recent airport update. So yeah, very, very happy to have this model in my collection. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and check out the box. Just going to zoom out momentarily. Sweet. So here we have, I'm just going to try my best to get this information in the shot. So here we have the Boeing 747-400 titles in the top of the box. In the middle is where we see the 2D rendering of this beautiful livery. One of the more iconic liveries of my national carrier. Very, very beautiful indeed. I do love the way that the Koru logo on the tail fin stands out in the white. Very, very nice indeed. Here we have the old Air New Zealand typeface there, and here we have the registration Zulu Kilo dash November Bravo Victor. And this model here is in 1:400 scale. On the bottom panel we have the Phoenix logo here, and here we have the Boeing 747-400 with the livery there, very, very beautiful. Here we have the full old logo of Air New Zealand with the blue Koru logo there. Now it has the newer typeface and the black Koru logo. And here we have the registration Zulu Kilo dash November Bravo Victor. And here we have the Phoenix Models logo. On the top panel we have the Phoenix Models logo again. Here we have some warning information here. And the left panel is identical to the other side. On the bottom panel here we've got a limited edition. Of course, this was very, very, very limited edition. And I think this was the only Air New Zealand model that I think they released in terms of the 747. And here we have the absolutely gorgeous white Koru logo. Of course, the Koru, spelled K-O-R-U, is pretty much a wilted or I think it's a wilted fern. So or coiled up fern, as you can see, it's coiled up. But nowadays, on the fern logo, I'll just bring in my A321. You As you can see, that there's the fern on the back of the aircraft there. That is what is the koru logo when it is bloomed, I guess. So when the fern is not bloomed, it is in the form of a koru, which is why the koru logo is on pretty much an iconic logo to be on the tail fin. As you can see, it's very, very nice indeed. Here we have the I think it's still the slogan of Phoenix Models, the heart of aviation. Here we have the barcode and the item number 10436, officially licensed product logo of Boeing there. And here we have the licensing details of this aircraft. Very, very nice indeed. I do love this model a lot. I will show you the model in a very short moment. So without further ado, that was the end of the reading of the airline and the information about the aircraft and the showcasing of the box. Now let's go ahead and check out the model. And here we have the absolutely stunning Air New Zealand Boeing 747-400 by Phoenix Models. Again, this model here was released in 2010, so quite a long time ago now. So now in this portion of the video, I'm going to showcase the model up close to the camera, showing you the different aspects of this aircraft, all the details on this aircraft. I must say this mold of the 747 by Phoenix Models was one of their best in my opinion. It is the best looking 747 that I think that they have released. Once we get up close and personal to the nose of the aircraft, you will see the difference in terms of what the nose of the aircraft looks like now to what it did, of course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and showcase the model up close to the camera. So of course, zooming in momentarily and showcasing the model up close to the camera. Here we go. Doesn't she look an absolute pearler up close? So here we have the front of the aircraft. Just in the middle of the shot, we have the nose cone. Underneath that is the weather radar. That is an instrument on board that lets the pilots know whether there is any weather ahead of them while they're in flight that they need to pay attention to, like any rough weather sails, heavy turbulence ahead of them, and things like that, so that they can make a decision of whether they go around any of the ominous weather ahead of them, or whether they stay on the flight path that they've assigned for their flight. Here we have the iconic cockpit windows of the Boeing 747. Don't pay attention to the marking that is on top of the cockpit windows. It just shows that this model is an absolute rare model, and of course, very, very nice indeed. There is the window wipers there as well, and the emergency escape hatch on the top of the aircraft there. Here is the forward section of the cabin, of the first class cabin. Right there in the middle of the shot, we can see the name Christchurch. That of course is a city in the South Island of New Zealand on the east coast, and the second largest city of New Zealand. Of course, the third largest city is Wellington. Here we have the Star Alliance logo. Of course, that was formed some time ago. I think it was 1999, I believe it was, with Air Canada, Thai Airways, Scandinavian Airlines, Lufthansa, and another one being the founding members. Of course, Air New Zealand joined sometime later. I'll put the date in the bottom left corner right about now, when Air New Zealand joined as a Star Alliance member. Here are the pitot tubes of the 747, very nice indeed. And here we have the nose gear door with Bravo Victor, the last two digits of the registration. Of course, the registration being Zulu Kilo November Bravo Victor. And here we have the metal nose gear. As you can see, they do roll. Very nice. Here is the first of the cabin of the boarding doors. I think this is the L1 boarding door. Mainly used by the pilots and the cabin crew and the passengers that are in first class. Of course, first class being in the front of the front section of the aircraft. Moving down here, we have the L2 boarding door. I believe this is a boarding door, or it might actually be an emergency door. Not too sure, but that's mainly where the business class sits on the 747. Here we have the L3 boarding door, mainly used for business class and economy. And here we have the iconic old typeface of Air New Zealand and the very, very famous Pacific Way of livery. Very cool indeed. Moving down, here we have the wing of the aircraft. Just in the middle of the shot, you can just make out the wing light there. And of course the fairing of the aircraft. Of course the fairing is the connection of the fuselage and the wing. Here we have this side's number 1 and number 2 General Electric CF6 engines. Very, very beautiful indeed. You've got some nice details going down the wing here of the flaps and the slats. And here we have the iconic winglet of the Boeing 747. Of course, this is the only variant of the 747 family that has winglets. Of course, the 747-8 has the raked winglets or the raked wingtips, but the 747 variant is the only one that has the winglets. Of course, the Boeing, I think it's the 747-200 and the 300 have that little antenna that goes out of the edge of the wing, and it kind of sticks out a little bit. But of course, as I just mentioned, the 747-400 is the only one that has the winglets. Here we have the red navigation light on this on the side of the wing. Of course, the other side will be green once we get there. Right. Here we have the overwing exit being over the wing there. And here we have the L4 door, mainly used in the event of an emergency. Very, very nice. And moving down, just here we have the Boeing 747-400 titles written in blue in the Boeing font. And then here we have the L5 door, I believe, or it might be the L6 door. It is the L6 door. Mainly used for boarding when the aircraft is being boarded by the apron. And behind that we have the flag of New Zealand, and below that we have the registration Zulu Kilo November Bravo Victor. Here we have the iconic tail fin of the Air New Zealand. We have the Koru logo that's adorned in the middle there, and then we got the teal colours, the blue down to the green. Very, very beautiful. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Air New Zealand was once known as the Airline of the Pacific, which is the reason why there is the Pacific Way of livery at the front of the aircraft and the blue and green teal colours on the tail fin. And here is the elevators of this aircraft. Very nice indeed. There is no details in terms of like logo lights or anything. I mean, it is I think there is one right in the middle of the shot there, or that just might be a bit of markings on there, as of course this model is pretty old now. And here we have the APU of the aircraft. So let's go ahead and momentarily turn the model around so we can have a look at the other side. As you can see, the nose is quite pointy. In terms of the current 747-400 mold, or any of the molds that aren't the -8, of course, the nose is quite ballooned now. It's quite of a shame, really, because this mold, as I mentioned, was one of the best molds that Phoenix had. Here we have the forward baggage compartment there, just showing you the differences in terms of this side of the model. Here we have the number 3 and 4 engines. You can just make out the interior of them. Very nice indeed. Let's have a look at the end of the wing here, and that is the green navigation light there. There is some cargo compartments there, the rear baggage compartments there, and this side of the tail fin, very nice indeed. Let's take a brief look at the bottom of the aircraft. Let's get it into the shot. Here we have the outlines of where the nose gear door would go to once they're retracted. Here we have the Phoenix Models logo, very nice indeed in the stand hole, very cool. Going down the wing here, some nice details of the flaps and the slats, and of course the engines themselves. Here are the landing gear. I will show you an up close image of the landing gear very shortly, but you can see that they do roll indeed. Let's have a look at the other wing, just trying to get it into the shot. Here we have the registration of the aircraft, Zulu Kilo November Bravo Victor, and some nice details if I can get it into the shot of the wing here, very nice indeed. And at the end here we have the APU. As you can see, the rear wing there is trying to come out, which is not ideal, but that's what you get with an old model, I suppose. And here we have some close-up view of the landing gear here. As you can see, they are very, very nice looking. They don't tilt or they don't like pivot or anything, but they do indeed roll. Very, very nice indeed. So a very nice model in my collection. I am very, very happy with it. Apart from the odd part that is trying to come out, or loose parts of the model, especially the rear elevator on the other side of the aircraft. So yeah, that will do it for the main part of the video. If you enjoy what you saw, go ahead and give this video a like. If you haven't done so already and you liked what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and of course dim that notification bell for future notifications for future videos so you don't miss out on any of them going live. And also share this video to your friends, anyone who may be interested in checking out this video and or checking out the channel as well. Go ahead and show your support. If you are wanting to go ahead and support me elsewhere outside of YouTube, I do have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm part of a Discord server. I have a new website out for my Astor International Airport. Of course, that's my model airport. And soon enough to the social media realm of social media will be coming very soon. Will be the Patreon account. So my main Instagram account is Astor International Airport. It will be the first link in the description below in terms of my social media. I got my Facebook and Twitter pages for Astor Productions. Astor Productions is the one whole parent kind of platform brand of everything I do here on social media, especially Instagram and of course YouTube. They are my two main kind of social media platforms that I am active on. And if you want to come along and join a Discord server based around aviation, the Global Aviation Alliance is where you should come along and join. What we're doing there, we talk about anything aviation, models, our favourite liveries, favourite aircraft, favourite liveries, favourite trips overseas, or plane spotting, or anything aviation. Want to come along and talk about planes and not be embarrassed, come along and join us there. If you want to come along and join that, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll pass it on to one of the admins to get your arrival processed. As I mentioned before, I've got a Patreon account coming very soon to the social media side of things. That's where you could possibly support me in terms of affording a video editing platform, I guess, where I could provide you guys with more professional kind of graphics and like end screens and like intros or background music and other things that you see nowadays on YouTube. And of course you could possibly support me in terms of funding me in terms of being able to afford more models for my collection, so I can review them on YouTube, like this model review here. So that will do it for today's video. So thank you very much for coming along and joining me for the model review of the Air New Zealand Boeing 747-400 by Phoenix models. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also dim that bell icon next to it so you don't miss out on any future videos coming to the channel. I do have some more model reviews coming very soon to the channel, and I have another airport update to film and get out for you guys as well. And we're going to start doing live streams for YouTube coming very soon. So if you want all the updates, all the news, everything, I want to stay up to date to everything I do social media wise about my airport, the ins and outs of the airport, all the updates, everything, go ahead and support me on Instagram. The link will be the first link in the social media area below in the description. Don't miss out any of the updates coming very soon to the channel. So soon enough, on the left hand side will be the most recent video that I've done so far on the channel. On the right hand side would be the full playlist of model reviews I've done so far on the channel. In the middle is where you can subscribe. But until next time guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.